Coach, this is your first season leading the Parkview program. What does it mean to you personally to take over such a historic basketball tradition?
Honestly, it's a full circle moment. It's a blessing to be able to come and coach where when you actually started from. Parkview, it has rich tradition. It's a school that probably one of the most historic, especially in the city, other than the school across the street on the other side. But man, Parkview was that school and still is that school. We had the mantra of Parkview gets everybody, and so it's always been like that. And to be able to come back and lead, man, it's an honor. Coming out to Coach Flang and Coach Rip and building on the things that they instilled and built up. I'm just trying to be a part of that and establish my own legacy.
You've been around winning programs throughout your career. How do you plan to establish your own identity and culture here at Parkview?
Man, honestly, the only thing that I know, man, is just to work. Work and be prepared, right? If you're prepared, you got to change. A lot of times, kids in general are not prepared to go into society and be a productive citizen, go to school and be a great student. So teaching them how to be prepared and just working. Next play mentality. It's okay to mess up, but you don't hang your head. Don't let your body language define how we perceive you. So that's it. Hard work and constant communication.
When people think of Parkview basketball, they think of toughness and tradition. How are you building on that legacy while putting your own stamp on the team?
Man, I'm trying to work. I'm trying to really work these guys and get them in some shape. It's funny. One of the players, when we was running and we were conditioning, he yelled out, "Man, this ain't basketball." I said, "You're right. Just training." I think a lot of times, a lot of kids just want to hoop. They don't want to play basketball. They don't know all the nuances about basketball. It ain't just, I got to train. No, it's about training. You can work on your individual skill, but are you in shape? And do you know the time to use your training, right? And so, all I want to do is build machines, young machines that they can thrive in any situation. I'm going to put them through every situation imaginable. I'm going to test their mental toughness. And when they start to respond, like some of them starting to respond, they notice your body change. They notice I'm not as tired as I was when we first started. See, everything's a build-up. A lot of times the kids don't understand what I'm doing, but that second and third day, they remember Monday. And so I understand the journey. It's all about the journey.
Every new coach faces challenges in year one. What has been your main focus in stepping into this role?
Changing the kids' mindsets. A lot of these kids have never really won before. And just because I won as a player and as a coach doesn't mean that they are receptive to my way of trying to win. So explaining and teaching consistently, because a lot of kids, what they don't know is what they don't know. They can think one way. Kind of like, if I got an opinion, you got an opinion. I might think my opinion right, you might think your opinion right. But we can both agree to disagree. And sometimes kids come into the situation with a preconceived notion that this is the way to do it, until you're shown a way to do it collectively as a team. And so my biggest challenge has been changing the team's mindset, getting back to the tradition. Even though we're not in the back of the day, but tradition and the standard is still the standard. Any kid that comes out of Parkview is going to be a student athlete. Any kid that comes out of Parkview is going to be a tough, defensive-minded kid. Any kid that comes out of Parkview will understand how to play basketball first. You see what I'm saying? So that's the main thing, and changing that. That's been my biggest deal, but I think we're moving in the right direction.
You've seen this team up close in practice. What excites you the most about this group of players heading into the season?
Man, what's excites me the most about it is they're trying. The key word is trying. Nothing is never finished. Man, they're trying to understand. They're trying to get together. I think I got arguably one of the best players in the state. I'm gonna take that back. I think I got the best duo in the state. Jacob Lanier, guy who won't come in here, who won't work. He's worked since day one. I pushed him, I challenged him, and he's accepted that. And he's accepted the kids around him as well, knowing that he had to be something else. Then you got Aiden Hansberg. Those two right there, I think I got the best two tandem. Aiden, he's a kid that went from 5'7" to 6'2". Had a lot of injuries. And like he said in his interview earlier, man, he got a lot to prove. So I got a lot of kids, not only them two, but I got a lot of kids that are eager to prove themselves. They didn't have a good season last year. I remind them of that. So you can't forget that. And so going in that, man, I just think, man, we really got a chance to win it all. And plus, we got help on the way.
You say help on the way. Can you elaborate on that, Coach?
Man, listen, I got some football players that have been coming up to me and asking me, Coach, can I play? I just asked them, hey, you do know the difference between football shape and Coach Harrison shape. And they laugh at me. It's a standard. I asked, man, what have you heard about me? So, you don't play. I ain't got time to play. All right, we'll play when we win. But between these lines, we're going to work. And so I love doing sports athletes. Guys can play both. Now, it was only one kid that I said that should play, but right now, we all know who that is. He up there in Oklahoma.
Parkview has definitely brought out a ton of talent, and the football team has held their own standard over there, winning championships. So definitely, can you elaborate on how you think that those players will come in and add to what you're doing and what you're building on with the team in practice that you have currently?
I think the main thing they bring to the table is winning. Winning is infectious. Understanding a team concept, and when you reach the pinnacle and you win a state, man, the journey to winning is something that you never forget. You remember those good days and bad days. And I think for the football team, you look at it, over the past 3 years when they won back-to-back, before they had to start a journey. And you had to put the work in. And so football players, they understand the weight room, toughness. Read 50-50 plays, dive on the floor. Rebounds. That's the toughness that they're going to bring, and that's what I'm instilling in the guys right now. We have to be the tougher team.
For the Parkview community and fans watching, what can they expect from your team every time they step on the floor?
Every time we step on the floor, man, we're going to compete. We're going to compete. We're going to play hard. We're going to play smart. We're going to play fast. And most importantly, man, we're going to play together. And we're going to try to play the right way. I do know that sometimes we might get a little out of whack going up and down, but we have a lot of organization. Those guys would know exactly what to do, and we're going to get the job done.
You've been both a player and a coach at different levels of the game. How have your experiences shaped the way you connect with your players and lead this program?
My experiences, I think, will help them. I think the biggest thing when I first met the guys and I talked to everybody, man, this is not about me. If anybody knows me, they know, man, I'm so much of the background kind of guy. I'm more reserved, especially, as I got a lot older and the things that I've been through, I'm more reserved and quiet. But on this floor, I'm somebody else. I tell them all the time, you got to be two people. You got to be a student athlete. I got to be an outstanding citizen. But on this court, that's when we unleash. You have to be a dog. You have to be willing to run through somebody's face to get the ball in order to get it. There's only one bone, two dogs. Who want it? If it's me or you, it's going to be me. That's the mentality. And that's, I think, where we connect, right? Being competitive, having that competitive spirit. And once that gets infectious, man, the whole team, like right now, it question, if you had them all in here and he asked, Did you think that you would be this far along since the summer? Because the summer was hard. Now, season right around the corner. We get ready to turn that corner. They see it. They see, here come the season. Of course, they know we ain't gonna be able to practice them as much like we do. I ain't gonna be able to run them as much. But they know, man, coach is right now telling us it's go time. And that's how I connect with them. Let them know how important it is to be prepared. How important it is to work hard. And when the game starts, practice can't be harder than the game. It can't be. Practice it cannot be harder than the game. Practice is where we get it in. The game should be easy.
When is the first tip for you all, and when is the season opener?
Season opener November 11th here at home against Hot Springs. And the weekend before that, on the 8th, we're in Dallas in a tournament. Not a tournament, but a jamboree. So, man, we can see where we at, see what we need to do. So, man, we'll be ready for that first home game. Hey, this is Coach Harrison, head basketball coach, boys, for the Parkview Managed Arts Science High School, and this is Before the Tip.